This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good morning, everybody. We're here at the October meeting of the Enforcement Oversight Committee. The date today is October 2nd, 2024. Time now is 9:07 a.m. and we're going to call the meeting to order. Stephanie, can you give us a verbal roll call to verify our meeting attendance, please?
Yes. Jeff?
Present.
Lori?
Here.
And Annie?
Here.
All right, and staff in attendance today, we have myself, Chad Cook, we have Administrative Specialist Stephanie Perkins, and we have Compliance Specialist Dan Murphy and Danny Fry. First order of business today is to approve the Enforcement Oversight Committee meeting minutes from our August meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
I move.
So moved. I'll second.
All right, Jeff with the second, Annie with the motion, and Stephanie, go ahead and give us another roll call vote for approval.
Yes. Jeff?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
And Annie?
Yes.
All right, motion carries and the minutes are approved. I'm going to pass the meeting over to Dan. I think he's got a couple of things to talk to you folks about today.
Thank you, Chad. Thanks, EOC members. Thank you, Annie and Lori and Jeff, for coming out today to participate. I've got a multi-case PCR, and it is the same appraiser, two separate appraisal reports, both single-family residents, similar assignment types, both for purchases. Any questions before we get started? Okay. We'll begin with case 20-2446. And anytime you're ready, Stephanie, we can begin voting on the potential violations. Okay. Record keeping rule.
Jeff?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Annie?
Yes.
Okay. Standard 1, real property appraisal development. Standard rule 11A.
Jeff?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Annie?
Yes.
Okay. Standard rule 13A3.
Jeff?
I'm so sorry. Oh yeah. No. Did you do 13A3? I was thinking of 4. I skipped. Yes. Apologies. Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Annie?
Yes.
Okay. 13A5.
Jeff?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Annie?
Yes. I'm sorry to interrupt. Did we skip one by any chance?
Let's see. We're on 20. Let's see. This is case 20-2446. We had record keeping 11A, 13A3, 13A5, and now we're about to move on to 14A.
So what? We didn't do 1, 2, C4. That one we don't do separately?
I think we'll do that later.
12C4 will be in case 21-2490, the next one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so here we are. 14A.
Jeff?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Annie?
Yes.
14B1.
Jeff?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Annie?
Yes.
14B2.
Jeff?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Annie?
Yes.
14B3.
Jeff?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Annie?
Yes.
15A.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay. Standard 2, real property appraisal reporting. Standard 2-1B.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay. Standard 22A10-1.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay. Standard rule 22A10-3.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay. Standards rule 22A10-5.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay. Standards rule 22A10-13.
Jeff,
Pause.
Yeah.
22A13, Dan. You've done that in 2 meetings now.
Oh, okay.
Who has Roman
22A13.
numerals anyway?
That's okay. It's early.
Yeah, 22A13.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
OAR 161-025-0061.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
ORS 674-142.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay, Chad, thank you for catching and pointing out my mistakes.
Sorry,
Case,
Dan.
oh,
I know what you meant. I just wanted the audio to be correct. Sorry.
case number 21-2490. Okay, record keeping rule.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Scope of work rule.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay, standard 1, real property appraisal development. Standard rule 11A.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay, standard rule 12C4.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay, standard rule 13A3.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay, standards rule 13A5.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay, standards rule 13B.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay. Standards Rule 14A.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay. Standards Rule 15A.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay. Standard 2, Real Property Appraisal Reporting. Standards Rule 21B.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay. Standards Rule 22A10.3.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Standards Rule 22A10.5.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Okay. Standards Rule 22A12.
Yay.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Thank God I got Sesame Street on in the background right here on the count helping me. OAR 161.25.0061.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
And ORS 674.142.
Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
and Annie.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I couldn't pronounce the number correctly on the previous case. I'll practice for the next time.
Keep that Sesame Street on.
The
Give
count,
him
he's in the background right now. He's right here on the screen.
Where's the count? Dan, given the volume
Right.
of information that you have to look over, read, and we all have to deal with, I think it's understandable once in a while to misspeak a little bit. So don't worry about it. It's
Yeah, and I
I
don't know.
I didn't want to be pedantic. I just wanted to make sure that the audio record reflects what's in the actual PCR. So I think we
And
all knew what you meant.
Yeah,
Dan, I
and
have a complete mental block against Roman numerals, so there's,
I
I'm
gotta be
totally with
honest.
you.
I don't know if this is going on the record or what, but the night before the EOC, I really don't sleep. So I'm going on just like caffeine right now, and I've been looking over. I really try and I try and make these things so that they are clear and thorough and consistent. And so anyway, yes,
You're doing good work, Dan.
there we go.
Appreciate all your
Excellent
hard
work.
work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great job. Dan.
And you too, EOC members. I really
Yes.
appreciate it. I know I say it every time, but we all really appreciate your involvement and the time that you volunteer for the board. We could not do this job without the three of you.
Right.
Uh,
And it makes the whole investigation, I think, more legitimate. We've got multiple eyes on it, and you know, you catch my mistakes and call them out, and I'm appreciative. I enjoy it. So thank you.
Well, with that said, unless there's any other new business that you all want to bring up, well, I guess I do have one thing. So our next EOC would be the first, if it's the first Wednesday of the month, it would be November 6th. That's the first Wednesday in November, just kind of as a tentative, keep that date in mind, and we'll communicate as it gets closer, but just as a heads up, that looks like the next EOC. And going into November and the holidays, I just wanted to make sure everybody's going to be around and available and all that. And if not, we can reschedule with a little bit of notice. But unless there's anything else you all want to bring up, we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
Uh, I didn't know this. I found this out, Chad, but you told me. But we're not doing an in-person meeting for the board, just since we have a few of us here on the meeting.
Gotcha.
The
Yeah,
office.
that's a good,
Oh,
not a bad time to bring that up. So yeah, it's because of the downsizing that we're doing, and this isn't really an EOC topic, but because of the downsizing that we're doing with the physical office space, essentially my office, Dan's office, Danny's office, and Paul's office, we're deleting from the building to save us a whole good chunk of money because of the nature of our work being remote 4 days a week. We can use the existing office space minus that back half of the office, and we're really not losing any functionality. We're just saving a huge amount of money. So as of right now, in order to make that change, we've got to shuffle things around, get stuff out of that back half of the building. And where we're putting it right now so that we don't have to rent a storage unit is in that boardroom. So for the time being, while we make that switch, I'm hoping to have that done around the first of the year, maybe a little bit after, or hopefully before. But that'll be looking like the time frame in terms of getting everything separated, and then hopefully by, I don't know if our January meeting is going to be remote or in person. Probably plan on a remote January meeting. Definitely April will be live and in person, or at least hybrid, where we'll have options. It's
Is
just a
January
space
the
issue.
Chad, is January the next meeting?
No, October. It would be actually, in fact, you'll get the board packet here in another 2 weeks or so.
What's
The next
what's the date of it?
on the
Monday, the
21st.
21st.
First. Okay. Busy month. Okay.
And at that meeting, actually, we will, or I'll be putting it before you guys, pardon me, to approve your 2025 board meeting schedule. Just as a heads up, we've always kind of had the meetings on Mondays at 9 a.m., the third Monday of the month at 9 a.m. That's not set in stone. So if you guys think that there's a different time or a different date on, in terms of do we want the Monday, the third Monday of the month? Do we want that Thursday? That is entirely up to you. I just propose what we've kind of always done. So it's, again, depending on what you guys decide, it doesn't have to be Monday at 9 a.m. the third Monday of every quarter, right? That's something that you can discuss, and we can figure out a different schedule. If the one that we've had isn't really working for you guys, it doesn't seem to have been a problem, but I just wanted to give you the info that you have options for a schedule moving forward. And October's meeting would be the time to discuss that too.
Excellent. Why? We probably should. I'll motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Jeff with the
Second
motion
that.
and
Yeah,
Lori with
second.
the second. Okay.
Okay. Jeff,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
and Annie.
Yes.
All right. The motion carries, folks, and the meeting is now adjourned. The time is 9:25 a.m. Thank you again for all your time. It's very much
Thanks,
appreciated.
everyone.
Thank you. Have a good
Hey,
Have a good day.
Bye.
Stephanie.
Chad.